express and represent feelings, ideas, and can often act as commentary for current situations. Over time, genres of art can become ordered and structured with enormous creative possibilities that might not apply to the existing accepted traditions. On top of that, drawbacks in society can cause almost hostile environments for artists to create their work. In most cases, this provokes a reaction in many different forms, and this is apparent in music, which leads to the question: why do reactions to existing music genres act as cultural critique? Now, various genres of music can be viewed as reactions to previous genres for it, and often these come in forms of artistic movements. They begin as underground movements which offer new and fresh artistic content and ideologies which are not seen or accepted by the current traditions. Typically, their interest increases and they can gain popularity, which allows the ideological foundations of the music to be expressed on a larger scale, which can act as cultural critique. The key areas of the theoretical framework was the reactions to existing genres, looking at what causes these reactions, what they can provide to music, and how particular reactions show cultural critique. Art movements as well. Art movements typically surround these genres that react in such a particular way. Music is used as a main medium to express this, as music is quite a powerful tool to get a point across. Looking at creative and cultural factors to this, what creative and cultural factors can influence these and encourage these reactions to music. Leading on from the cultural factors, we kind of look into Marxism and see how theories regarding social class can offer insight to what could provoke people to react in such ways with music. The general area will be looking at critique through music, using examples of music that feature cultural critique and how it's used and represented throughout music. This will lead on to looking at current genres and seeing if any current genres feature these reactionary traits in music and where it might go. So the existing theories from the research I've found so far are creative repression, accepted traditions that act as a can limit artistic potential, abandonment of rules and structure. This leads on from the creative repression. The easiest way to react to something is to just diminish everything else that is already stood for. The extreme opposites is obviously the easiest way to react is to completely do the opposite. Protest, confrontation, and shock value. I think music is quite a powerful medium to express. It's used to express. It can act as protest, and it can easily get attention as well. Class struggle. Music is like in the earlier periods of music, it's often viewed as high society, and it's like lower classes were not always accepted to create their own music, which can lead to reactions and rejections of existing music genres. And using music as an ideological tool for artists and cultural ideologies, and people wanting to voice what they believe that society may not accept or disagree with. The specific music genres I'll be looking into is Romanticism, which is actually an era of music, and quite from the early 1800s to the early 1900s, and that saw a complete change from the classical period as well. Music became a lot more dissonant, a lot more expressive, and not as ordered and structured as classical sonatas. And that was seen in the architecture and fine art as well as theatre. Also looking to experimentalism, Harry Park is probably going to be a key figure in that due to his complete rejection to all music, pretty much seen as a musical conspiracy. We declare the use of ignoring microphones and stuff like that. Also looking to punk, which is, as we all know, quite politically driven, more out of poor economy, and quite really aggressive. No Way, which was a reaction, which was a rejection to all musical traditions, but primarily at the time, New Wave was about, so the genre is kind of a pun on that. And and grunge, which reacted against the kind of late 80s hair metal and glam bands as well, by taking music back to a kind of raw structure with a bit of a punk aesthetic as well in angst-driven lyrics. Also, I'll be looking briefly into subgenres and culture and subcultures that surround these, and find out how that cultural critique can play its way into these genres as well. I've got a quote from about romanticism. It's romanticism is often considered to have emerged in the mid-18th century as a counterforce to the rationalism of the Enlightenment era. And leading on from that, the departure of the Enlightenment's emphasis on rationality meant that many of those from the Romantic generation found themselves ideologically split over occasions of the French Revolution. These quotes then this is about the Romantic era in general, but it kind of offers understanding to both a creative and cultural aspect of reacting against it. This quote is, England's punk scene had political and economic roots. The economy in the United Kingdom was in poor shape, and unemployment rates were at an all-time high. English people were very angry, rebellious, and out of work. They had strong opinions and a lot of free time. This shows how the poor state of society can affect artists into reacting in no way. If rejecting one new wave and embracing another seems incongruous, it should, but no wave is not just a negative, but a contradiction. A way to say whatever we are also the opposite. Basically just having a complete hostile and rebellious approach and using their music to represent that ideology. The resources that I've used, this is one that I've used so far, which is by Mark Yarm, Everybody Loves Our Town, which is a collection of interviews with a lot of artists of the grunge movement, particularly those in the earlier unknown bands, talking about how it came about, what led to this music becoming a movement, and the kind of artistic bohemian lifestyle that surrounded it, and how that influenced the music. This is one that I've yet to look into, but it's co-written by Thurston Moore of Sonic Youth, which one of the very early new wave bands that actually went on to be quite successful. And this is discussing the early period in which it started as and focusing on it musically as well as being an art movement as well. A band called Death was a documentary, which was released a couple of months ago, and it features.
You've got 2 minutes.
It's obviously about a band called Death, and they are cited as one of the very early, or one of the first punk bands. They began in 1971, and what's interesting about this is the kind of cultural reactions, is because they were all African American musicians, whereas at that time they were typically considered to be playing R&B music and things like that, and these guys kind of just completely ignored that and decided to create their own kind of hard edge rock and roll, which is kind of seen as a blueprint for punk. And also, this is a book that I'm going to be looking into to help hopefully explain the cultural aspect of the cultural critique of the research report. The structure of it, about 100 slides, just as a brief overview. The first chapter is going to be looking into music as critique, how and why music responds to cultural and socio-economic situations. Moving on to that will be music's reaction to art, discussing what causes music to abandon its own rules for further creative potential. Looking at Marxism concepts and how they can be applied to music and explanation for the reaction traits in general, and looking at how regards to class roles representation in music. I'll be analysing the genres that I've already mentioned with the reference aspects that they may feature from the previous chapters. In conclusion, it will be an overview of the research and findings, and looking into what current genres have these traits and what it might lead to in the future. And obviously a reference system bibliography. That's any questions?
Great, thank you. Any questions? Unsurprisingly, I do. Okay, a couple of things. When you're talking about romanticism, who do you want to look at? Who are the composers that are?
There's always the argument that people have about Beethoven being classical or romantic because he was kind of at the at the turning point of it. So probably have to look into his later works, but also even though he's a late romantic composer, Boré is someone that I'm kind of been looking into as well. And well, there's tons of there's a very long list of them. I have to kind of find out key composers.
I didn't know if there were sort of any sort of specifics that would that would feature there. I mean, how about Stravinsky? How would he?
Yeah, I guess I'm not too sure. I've not actually looked at romanticism for quite a long time.
No, that's fine. That's fine. It seems to me you are mapping an ideological arc here, and if that's what you're doing, then you need to state that in the introduction. Because you haven't said that, I've kind of picked that up with the information that you've provided and the fact that you're looking at what you are. There seems to be this, you're mapping a rebellious route that starts with perhaps romanticism where people wouldn't automatically think that's where it was. Do you see what I mean? So I think it's going to be very important for you to perhaps choose some more significant composers from romanticism, and that's where you start this. Okay, so you're saying that you are mapping an ideological narrative arc throughout this. Okay, as a consequence, I can see why you're using Marxism, but I think you're going to need to make it clear why you're applying Marxist theory here. Okay, just as long as you make that clear, as long as you do that in the beginning of your introduction, then you are informing not just your markers, but that will in turn inform the rest of your work as well. Okay. So there needs to be the ideological consistency because I can see it from who you've chosen, but you need to tell me that. Okay? Great, thank you very much.